question, or a couple questions actually for you. Can I see, show of hands, if you've ever had your photograph taken by Hollywood paparazzi while holding a giant cardboard check with Cindy Crawford? Anyone? One person I see. How about if you finished writing the final 4 chapters of a book on the oncology floor at a New York hospital? See another hand for the same hand. How about, has anyone ever dusted off their coffee table and mopped their kitchen floor and paid copious detail to tidying up their house for the Today Show or CBS's The Early Show, the CBS Evening News, Better TV, Parents TV, England's GMTV, and ABC World News, and then no one noticed? Well, today's keynote speaker, ASJA member Jen-Singer, has done all of those things, and she's also done a lot more. Jen has developed an astonishing platform. Her blog, Mama Said, averages 100,000 page views a month, which is absolutely astonishing. Congratulations, Jen. And if you haven't checked out her blog, you really should, because I'm hooked. Jen has also just launched a new blog, Parenting and Cancer, which I'm certain will be another wonderful success. Oh yeah, did I forget? Jen's also published books, and lots of them, 5 to be exact, including Stop Second Guessing Yourself Guides to Parenting, 14 Hours Till Bedtime. Parents, great books. And all that is remarkable enough. Jen has written for numerous media outlets, such as American Baby, Parenting, Parents, Family Circle, Women's Day, and several others. The Washington Post on parenting. For 2 years, Jen also wrote the Good Grief, A Tale of 2 Tweens blog for GoodHousekeeping.com. So Jen knows her stuff for sure. I don't know about all of you, but I'm exhausted just thinking about all of the things that Jen has done, because she's really, really done it all. And it is my distinct honor and pleasure to welcome ASJA member, award-winning speaker and blogger, superstar, Jen-Singer as today's keynote speaker.
There should be cup holders up there. My minivan has 12 of them and it only seats 7. Hi everybody. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to use this timer, which is the same timer that I use when I coach soccer. So if it goes off and I yell, "Shoot it!" please don't. In fact, thanks to you, missing 2 soccer games and the birthday party my husband has to drive the kids to, so thank you very much. Very much so. I'd like to say a few thanks first, because literally I wouldn't be up here without these people. First of all, Gina, for asking me, it was like a week after last year's ASJA, and it's been running in my head ever since, so you were the cause of my insomnia. Thank you, Gina. I want to also welcome Wendy Sherman, my literary agent who sold 4 of those 5 books and would sell another one if I would get to finish writing a proposal. Sorry, Wendy, please don't storm her, everyone. Another person who couldn't make it here today is my manager, Ed Alowitz. He is in Jamaica with a rap band filming a video. He's the Sugar Hill Gang's manager. You got hit. Remember that? So he got them. I did a fundraiser for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society / remission party, and I got the Sugar Hill Gang, which is awesome. So thank you, Ed, wherever you are. To Robin Blakely, who's my publicist and my roommate here this week since last night. You're like a sister to me. She flew all the way from Kansas City to see me, even though she hears me yammer on every day on the phone. To my brother, Scott, who got stuck with flip cam. Thank you, Scott. He is my entrepreneurial idol. When he was in elementary school, he set up a carnival at our house, complete with, he got the guy who owns the hot dogs to give us free hot dogs. He got our babysitter brought a pony. I mean, it was incredible. And I learned all that from Scott. Finally, to my mom, who without whom I literally would not be here today. And she also picked out this outfit for me, so this I know I graduated in my soccer, please, so thank you. Finally, I want to thank ASJA hear one of your own speak at Keynote. I mean, you guys heard me, I'm on before, a bunch of you are my friends, and I know it's an incredible vote of confidence to say that I think I've figured something out, and I should tell you that, and I'm going to do that for you today. I'm not going to single anyone out, because there's a lot of friends here. Like, for instance, I wouldn't say that Ron Doyle designs an incredible website, parentingwithcancer.com, and made the mistake of telling me that his plane has Wi-Fi on Wednesday when we were launching it. If you're on Doyle, from Doyle, at rondoylewrites.com. I don't know how to tell you guys this, but a mom blogger is the keynote at the American Society of Journalists and Bloggers. Does anyone else feel the hand basket getting hotter? See, I've always felt like I never completely belonged here, kind of like that Sesame Street song, which one of these is not like the other, because I was creating something before other people were creating things, and nobody understood what I was doing. I came here in '96, was my first session, my first ASJA, back in the day when you would actually mail your queries to editors, and then there would be a self-addressed stamp envelope, and they would mail it back to you. Remember those days? And I went to a session on book publishing, and at that time, this was, things were pretty flush back then. And one of the editors who spoke said, nowadays publishers are no longer going to build your career for you. You have to come already with a following, and the entire room groaned. And I remember thinking, well, doesn't that make sense? I mean, it's your career. Shouldn't you be building up people following you? And so I started to build a brand before everybody was building a brand, before there was Snooki and all of that. I started building a brand because I had platform envy. I would go to the bookstore and I would flip over the book and I would see, Jane Doe has been published in Newsweek and blah, 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 blah. And they always had two places, like the Hamptons in Paris, or whatever. And it wasn't where they lived that I was jealous of, it was the Newsweek and everything else. And so that's when I knew the platform. And so I started to publish things in order to get rid of my platform envy. But Mama Said was the basis, and still is after 8 years now, the bottom of that platform. And without Mama Said, the whole thing falls through. And people look at it and go, well, how do you monetize it? Well, I'm going to tell you how I monetized it. But first, I'm going to tell you a little story. If you were all at the session 2 years ago, that Kathy Senna brand with, I mentioned the name, sorry, Ron Doyle, that Peter Shankman was on, which, by the way, if you're on Kathy Senna's panel, apparently she's the farm team for keynote speakers, so I look forward to seeing you next year. Anyway, I told this story, and this is the only old story I tell. This is fresh, don't worry. I told this story that I was here in '03, shortly after I had launched Mama Said. And I ran into this woman who's an author, and she gave me one of her, her book just came out, so she gave me one of her, these cards that we give you with her book jacket on it that you probably write notes on and then stick your gum in, but she gave me one. And she said, this is my book. So I had no book. I wanted to have a book, but I didn't have a book. So I had a blog. Before anyone had put the words Mama blog together, I had Mama Said. So I had this card made up. And it has a picture of my son when he was a baby, and he's got food all over his face, and he's got a big grin. And it says, and then it hits you. You won't be able to wear white again until he's grown up and left the house. MamaSaid.net. And I handed this to her, and no lie, she held it by the corner like this, as though if she touched the rest of it, her fingers might melt down to her wrist. And she goes, what's this? And I said, well, it's my new website for moms where they can go and they can get laughs and validation. So I'm trying to build up a following so that I can get a book published. And she goes, oh, that's nice. And handed it back to me. I hope you're here. Back in '03, when I launched Mama Said, there was no social media. Facebook was for college kids. Twitter is something birds do in trees. So I had to promote a new medium with old media. At the beginning, it was just my mom coming to my website, thanks mom, and her handing, if you were in a mall in New Jersey in 2003 and were pushing a stroller, no doubt, I'm sure my mother gave you one of these. You didn't would have gone in there. So I had to use old media in order to promote Mama Said. So I went on to ProfNet, this is before Harold. I went on to ProfNet and I started answering ProfNet leads. And then, because I know you as one of your peeps, I became sort of a go-to person on if your last-minute quote or whatever. I give a good quote. And all of you should be able to quote well too. You should be able to learn how to talk in sound bites. And one of the ways that I did that was I did vlogs before there were vlogs. I made videos where I would talk to my video camera and make up something in the shower about how, I was running the bike parade in my town and they made the mistake of giving me a bullhorn, which I could take home. Dinner is ready. Stop hitting your brother. It was awesome. So I would make up these little vlogs and I would think of them in the shower and then I would go down and I didn't write anything down. I think of a funny line here and there, but mostly it came to be that I could make it up on the spot. Because I made dozens and dozens and dozens of these and you'll never see the first dozen. And that's how I learned how to talk in sound bites. So which came in handy when TV came calling later. I also did things that people that were against traditional thought, conventional wisdom. How you're supposed to start in the regional magazines, especially if you're a parenting writer, and you're supposed to work your way up and work your way up. Well, I wrote essays, so I had to complete the essay and mail it in. So I figured, why would I start at the bottom? Let's start at the top and see what happens. So I got myself a Women's Day magazine because they had an essay page, and I thought I'm going to start with them, and I flipped it open and I picked a name, and I mailed an essay. And a couple weeks later, Stephanie Barbanel from Women's Day called me. And she says, I really love this essay. And she says, but we have something like it in inventory. And so I'm listening to her talk, and she says, but you have wonderful flair, which were two words that launched a career. It was like she just, give me more drugs. You have wonderful flair, I want to see more. So meanwhile, my 18-month-old, I'm feeding him cookies so I can talk to the nice lady on the phone. And I'm pretending that this happens all the time. And I said, I have another essay for you, and I will mail it to you, because this was back in 99 or so. And that's the one she bought, and it was called the Housewife Awards, which starts, my mother took up tennis for the awards, now that I'm a housewife, I understand. And I created then actual Housewife Awards on Mama Said. I said, I'm coming up to, I'll hit number 200 this summer. And what I do is I give away, for whatever crazy thing the mother has been through, and she doesn't have to be a housewife. By the way, this was before Desperate Housewives and the Real Housewives. So to use the word housewives, now everyone loses it. I give out awards, and these women love just to have a certificate for wading into the pond to get their 4-year-old out in front of 300 people. They deserve a pat on the back. The other thing I did is I created a holiday. It's called Please Take My Children to Work Day. It's a holiday for full and part-time stay-at-home moms. It's held every June. We're having the 9th annual next month. So if any of you know anyone, this is their excuse to take a day off. Robin had the brilliant idea to have it officially declared. It's been officially declared in 12 states in the last couple of years. And the amazing thing is they actually use the name. Please take it's a joke, but no. And Take My Children to Work Day people have never jumped on me. I don't know why that is. So I used press, traditional press, which eventually went online, and I started to get inbound links. Anyone who knows anything about search engine optimization, how important inbound links are. And I was doing this really sort of in the dark ages of things. I taught myself HTML so I wouldn't have to see that look on my husband's face like, okay, he's an IT guy. So I taught myself HTML. And I started to get inbound links and built up so that I have thousands of thousands coming from places like CNN.com and USAtoday.com and the Today Show, all coming Google like this. I had a friend call me said, you know, I'm launching a website with a friend of mine. We're publishing a book, and I'm just wondering, like, when I Google Jen Singer, your website's the first thing that comes up. And then there's like thousands of things after that. How do you do that? And I said, oh, there's a switch on the back of your computer. You get a flashlight. And then you go behind the computer and it just boom, like that, and that's how easy it is. My first book came out in 2004, 14 hours till bedtime. My publisher was a teeny tiny little publisher. 3 weeks before it came out, while it was being promoted in Parenting magazine, which I set up because I had that relationship. And right about a week before, I was going to have a 3-page spread in Parents magazine with me in a beautiful blue ball gown at the Waldorf Astoria, because it was Mama Gets a Groove Back, it's from the book. They decided we're not going to publish this, sorry. We don't want, you know. So luckily, I was getting ready to self-publish. I mean, you can't. Parenting would never take me seriously, and parents would never take me seriously. I had to get it out there. When another publisher came through, and we got the book out, and thanks to Robin, we got it into orders, and that was the beginning of the beginning. By the way, when I was having my picture taken for that, I thought it was, hot spit, and everyone's looking to see who's this famous girl and whatever. And Lassie showed me up. Lassie, all of a sudden, I mean, she's beautiful, obviously not the original Lassie, but she was beautiful, and she was coming downstairs, and I moved out of the way with Lassie. And she expected that, And so the next day, I was in the New York Times, and there's Lassie having lunch at Tavern on the Green. That's where she was headed. Meanwhile, I was in my driveway with a bunch of 6-year-olds looking at a dead frog, so it didn't last very long. So after the book got published, TV started to call, and what happened was CBS, their early show, was looking for a Desperate Housewife, which makes no sense because that's CBS and that was ABC, but anyway, they were looking for Desperate Housewives because the show had just started. And they were asked, a friend of mine, this is co-opetition, everyone, another mom blogger, if she was interested, but they needed to be in the tri-state area. Another tip, live here, especially now. Because the media, especially now, they won't send a crew out. They'll come to my house because it's 30 miles away, so come to my neighborhood and they'll get on TV. So she referred me to them, and next thing I know, the early show is following me around my house, and I got on TV, which really came in handy because now all of a sudden Pull-Ups was knocking at my door, and they were looking for a potty training partner. And I had potty trained 2 kids, and I had written about potty training, and I had this much TV experience. They flew me out to Chicago to their PR firm, and they gave me media training and taught me how to speak and how to get the trill out of my voice and all that. And then they decided to send me to Canada, what they were calling a media tour, and I was calling TV camp. Because they sent me to Calgary, Edmonton, Toronto, and Halifax, and all of a sudden I was doing tape TV, live to tape, live TV. I learned how to mic myself up, I learned how to do my own makeup. Funny story. In Toronto, we had a thunderstorm, and so we're sitting on the tarmac, and the 2-year-old next to me, I said he could sit in my lap, and we'll look out the window, and I could name all the airport trucks because I have 2 boys. That's a skid steer, that's so we're going through everything. He peed on me, which made for a great segment on Canada AM the next day, which is their version of the Today Show. They had 3 million viewers, so there you go, kids. His father, who didn't know who I was bragging about how he was potty trained. No, he's not. I'm still a Pull-Ups potty training partner now. I've been there since 2005. In the beginning, we did all traditional media. We did TV, I did interviews, print interviews, I did radio. Now, it's all social media. Now I'm answering potty training questions on Facebook, in 140 characters on Twitter. Ain't easy. I write P a lot. So it's changed, their focus has changed, and you got to learn how to do it. I hosted a Twitter party. Now, how many people know what a Twitter party is? Yeah, that's better than most of the people who hire me. They don't know what a Twitter party is. A Twitter party is basically you go on Twitter at at the same time, say 8 o'clock tonight, use the hashtag, pull-ups, whatever it is. And as the host, my job is to, in their particular case, answer questions about body training, but it could be any kind of topic. And you give out prizes and you facilitate conversation and you keep the whole thing from going down the tubes because some crazy person wants to attack you. And that's your job. And it's a little insane. But I have to, some stuff I pre-write and some stuff I have to do on. So if you're a writer and you write fast, this is where it's headed. I've been a spokesperson for Listerine, Asian Cool Blue, Coinstar, Similac, Hershey, which is awesome because of s'mores. My kids love that. Microsoft, Purina, Alexia Foods, Pull-Ups, and S.C. Johnson. I've done satellite media tours where you're beamed into a TV station after TV station all over the country. In the case of s'mores, it was from the brand manager's backyard in Hershey, with s'mores surrounding me, and I wasn't allowed to eat them until the end. I've written blogs and done tour parties and whatnot. In 2007, Wendy took me on, and she went and sold "You're a Good Mom, Your Kids Aren't So Bad Either." And at the same time that came through, an editor from HCI who had been a fan of Mama Said for 2 years, had watched it for 2 years. So those of you who have thrown up a blog and gave up after 3 months, please start it again. Because it's the longevity that matters, and the ability to show that you have deep content and are able to keep this up. Blogs are way harder than books. They just really are. It's like the problem child we're always dealing with. That's a lot. It's like a baby. It's younger than. When you sold that, so at the same time, this editor from HCI came through and said we want to create a book based on Mama Said. And it quickly became 3 books based on Mama Said. And so because we were negotiating both contracts at the same time, that really helped things out in terms of right of first refusal and all that. And we made sure that they didn't have the rights to, see, this is my book jacket cover, they have no rights to Mama Said. We were licensing out Mama Said. So if you own anything, if you own a website, please be careful. Make sure that you protect your assets. Don't give that away. Then in April of 2007, that's when, because of ASJA, I got the opportunity to pitch to goodhousekeeping.com. It was Kate Hanley and Leslie Pepper said that the editor was looking for a blogger who has tweets. So I got to start that. Unfortunately, a few weeks after I pitched that and started writing for them, I found out I had a tumor the size of a softball in my left lung. In fact, I was here in 2007 wondering why I was so tired and had to keep going upstairs to take naps. I had stage 3 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I had 4 chapters left to write in You're a Good Mom. My brother gave me his laptop when he got me an extension, and I really did write parts of it, finished it on the oncology floor at New York Hospital. And I know that sounds very type A, but really writing was a place for me to hide. And I would open up that laptop and I would either bang out a couple pages or even a chapter, or I would fall asleep and drool on the keyboard. And I just, whatever I could get out was whatever I could get out, but that was the happy place that I could go, look, there's a happy place where people are moms and have a good time. And it was also something I could control because I couldn't take care of my kids the way I was. My entire house was under construction at the same time, so might as well be in the hospital writing and hiding from it. What I knew back in '96 was that the promotions would ultimately be up to me and to the people who have helped me. And that's why I did everything that I did. That's why I built a brand. That's why I constantly am looking at the next thing, the next thing. That's why I have 12,000 Twitter followers who are good quality Twitter followers, not bots and porn. It's actual moms and mom bloggers who want to see what I have to say, and now cancer bloggers. Doyle designs a wonderful website. One of the things that I used social media for was to get on the Today Show. And I know I said I wouldn't tell a story again, but I'm telling you, this one's not fresh, so if you've heard it, I'm sorry. I follow the Today's Moms. It's at Today's Moms for those of you who want to. They're two producers from the Today Show. I follow them on Twitter. They follow me back. Facebook, blah, blah, blah. Kiss, 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 retweet. All that stuff for 6 months because I liked their content and they would sometimes retweet mine. And then they wanted to find a mom who had been bullied online. And I was that mom. I actually got chased off the internet by some angry people who didn't like me to take my children to work day. Because apparently they thought that if you make a holiday for at-home moms, it's a slap in the face for working moms. Even though I am a working mom, which is kind of like saying that Arbor Day is a slap in the face to low-lying vegetation, I still don't understand. Not at all. So she DM'd me. I'm on the couch with bronchitis and never ever let my phone, I said that, my phone's not here. Never let my phone out of sight. And she DM'd me and said, look, there's someone who'd been bullied. And the next day, I'm dusting my coffee table for this day shop. And that's how I got on. So here's the thing. I want to give you four recommendations. First is co-opetition, and that's be in cahoots with your competition. Every day I'm retweeting another mom blogger, another cancer blogger. I'm pointing out things that I thought were great that they wrote on Facebook. I'm commenting on their sites. Now all of you are like, I don't have time for that. But see, I don't have time not to. Because the reason why the spokespersonships hire me and the deals come through is because of Mama Said. And I've had advertising out there before, I've taken it off, and I'm about to put it back on. It's nice money, but it's not huge money unless you're, Heather Armstrong dues. Without this, I have the ready-made audience that they want to speak to. I have the ready-made audience for the next book. And I've been doing this for parenting with cancer for the last 4 years. I've been building up the right contacts at Livestrong, I have contacts at the American Cancer Society, so that when I launched on Wednesday, it wasn't just me going, hey, check out this website, it was everybody else doing it for me. And all of a sudden, my page views started to fly, and my Facebook likes keep going up by the hour, because I had already built this, and because I did the co-opetition stuff. I did the tweeting their good stuff and saying, good job, and you should get this book. That's how you build up a brand, and that's how you build up a following. And this time, it was so much easier because I had Facebook and Twitter, and because I already had Mama Said as the basis of the platform. And it will turn into bigger things down the road. Right now, you're all going to go to, there's no advertising, how does she make money? Eventually there'll be a book out of it, eventually there'll be other things out of it, so watch and you'll see how it's done. Second thing is learn how to speak in sound bites. Talk to yourself. I walk around my house talk to myself. The kids don't listen to me anyway, so I'm not supposed to talk to myself. Learn social media. What's the biggest difference? I went to Mom 2.0 2 weeks ago in New Orleans, which I'm still getting over. And it's a conference for moms or bloggers. And they were tweeting constantly. And they tweeted each other, and that's how they made relationships with each other. And it was very much, I want to meet you, and you tweet, let's meet here. So they understand Twitter, and as much as you might hate it, it is something that you need to do, and as is Facebook, something that you need to do. The next thing is, the last thing is something that at Mom 2.0, I got up and I spoke to this panel. I asked the first question to this panel of someone from Oprah, someone from Martha Stewart, someone from YouTube, and a fourth one, I can't remember. And I said I was going to be keynoting this. And I explained what the American Society of Journalists and Authors is, and I said, we're in a room full of new media, what do you want to tell a room full of old media? And the woman from YouTube said, save journalism, don't save the medium. And I have to agree with that. I think it's a great time to be a writer, and really ultimately all I ever wanted to do was write. All I ever wanted to do was get over my platform envy so that I could write. So that this week alone, when Parenting with Cancer launched, I got emails from people saying, my father had cancer and my mother didn't know how to tell me. And I found out from a pamphlet on the table. I had people telling me, thank God you said this because I thought I was alone, feeling this way. And to me, that's why I write. even though I'm mom. So I'm going to go to the cocktail party tonight. And I'm going to do that because this one-way thing doesn't work for a blogger. I want to hear back from you. I want to answer your questions. I want to tell you how to flip the switch on the back of your computer so that your name comes up first when I Google you. And I hope that you'll come up, ask me questions, and tell me that you also do this because you love to write. Thank you.